Did you even know that there was a free weekend in PUBG? Now, you would think that that would drag in a lot of new players and people that wanted to check it out. But the truth is a little bit different. I've taken a look at the Steam player count charts and I've found something that is pretty interesting. A little bit unexpected, but it kind of makes sense when you think about it. And in this video, we're also going to touch on how PUBG Lite affects the player count in PUBG. Let's jump right in. All right, let's take a look at the Steam charts of this week for PUBG and compare it to the previous periods. Now, I want to do an apples to apples comparison. That means that we're only going to compare each specific day to the same day of the previous week. For example, Sundays are going to be only compared to Sundays. Now, at first glance, it doesn't seem like anything has changed. If you look at this line, it's pretty much the same. And even this shows that it's a minus in the last 30 days. But okay, let's compare it to the previous week. The free weekend was from the 4th, I think, to the 8th. We can see here that yesterday we had a peak around 520,000. Let's round it out. And the week before, which wasn't free, had roughly the same amount of players, or almost the same. Yeah. Saturdays, okay, Saturday has a little bit more, but on this side, Saturday has also a little bit more. So about the same amount of players. But as you can see, PUBG is on a downtrend overall. Ignore the last part here. So you would expect a lot more players during the free weekend. But it turns out it didn't get any traction, like at all. Maybe a few thousand extra players, which is nothing. It's only in, a trial free weekend. Maybe you've noticed this big spike up here on the 4th of April. Let me explain what happened there. First, we're going to take a look at this tweet from Brian Corrigan. He's currently the head of NA PUBG, so he's quite up there. All right, so when he saw the Steam charts, it went up from around 500k to 900k that day. It instantly jumped the boat and said, nice to see players enjoying PUBG during this crazy time. Doesn't include console either. Maybe a little escape was what we needed for a few days. Now, he's already sort of boasting about the numbers that PUBG is getting all of a sudden. Like, wasn't it a little bit strange that PUBG instantly got like 400,000 extra players? But okay, he tweeted that. And what people realized was where those players come from. And what it turned out is in China, there was some kind of event going on and they had to shut down the mobile servers for 24 hours for most games. But PUBG was one of the few games that could still be played. And of course, so many Chinese gamers just jumped into PUBG because there was not much else to play, at least not in that genre. And the next day already, we had to drop down to the usual numbers. Again, even Choco commented, I hate to be that guy, but I am. I believe the crazy peak was because China had 24-hour day of mourning where most game servers were inaccessible, but PUBG was still available. That being said, why is PUBG so much more popular in China? Okay, that's a different topic, all right, for a different video. People realized that it was just one day. Why exactly did he need to tweet this? I don't understand. It doesn't look that great for PUBG, unfortunately. Over 3 million players down to 500,000 players. I would say in the West, the player count reduced between 10 and 15 times on PC. Let's take a look at another interesting thing, and that is the distribution of players. These players on Steam, where do they come from? It's hard to know exact numbers, but if you look at these numbers from different esport competitions in the last year or two, Nations Cup had great viewership, I would say. But look at this absurdity. The Vietnamese stream had more viewers than the English stream. So just the Vietnamese stream. We're not even counting in the Chinese one or... Look, Thai stream had over half, like 60% of the English viewership. So there's so many people watching and probably even playing PUBG in Southeast Asia while it's slowly dwindling down in other regions. You can see on this graph, PGI had 364K compared to the PGC last year, which had a 65K peak viewership. Of course, time zones and all of that, but it is dwindling. But from these metrics, we can see why PUBG Corp is so eager to satisfy the Asian market with their changes, or at least they were for the last year or two, because there's so many people from Asia playing. I dare to say that almost all of the games that are below PUBG in the top 10 have more Western players than PUBG currently. Maybe not all of them, but most of them. So what caused this low interest in the PUBG free weekend and people checking out PUBG? Number one, I would say, is bad advertisement. This advertisement reminds me of how poorly they advertised their esports, which was basically one of their main selling points. They intended it to be one of the main selling points for PUBG throughout the years. They've neglected advertising their own esports in their own game for years, and they only did a pretty good job with PGC. Before that, it was absolutely terrible. You know, one little banner somewhere or nothing at all. No autoplay streams, no nothing. I don't think they've devised a good enough plan for this free weekend. Second reason is PUBG Lite or even PUBG Mobile. They take away a fraction of the potential player base. And the third reason is the game is 3 years old, and there's so much negativity, unfortunately, revolving around PUBG that no one's really interested in checking it out. If people wanted to check it out, they probably already bought it and checked it out. It wasn't that expensive, and it was on sale quite a few times. So I would say the curiosity factor is not there anymore for a lot of people. Why did they even do this free weekend? I think they're trying to prepare PUBG for free to play. They had PUBG Lite to test the model. They have PUBG Mobile to test the model, but it's not really that close. I think it's a matter of time PUBG being free to play. But if it does go free to play, they'll have to work on advertisement and just quality of life stuff. And cheaters, I think that's the main problem. But if we go back to PUBG Lite and how it started even, and it was aimed specifically for players that have low-end PCs. I'm talking like integrated graphics, dual-core CPUs and all of that. And honestly, they did a great job when it comes to performance. If you ever played PUBG Lite on your like mid-end, high-end PC, you know you have like a 200, 300 FPS lock no matter what. So they did a great job in PUBG Lite. But they had to strip down a lot of things, even audio, to get that FPS, because audio takes up quite a few FPS. PUBG Lite started getting released. It was free from the start. It was spreading out throughout the world slowly. People were VPNing to play. And I think it was a great success. It saw great popularity in Asia as well as Turkey, even Russia. People play it. A lot of people switched from PUBG to PUBG Lite just because of the performance. If PUBG goes free, the PUBG Lite players are still going to play PUBG Lite because they cannot run PUBG. So PUBG being free is not going to get the PUBG Lite players to PUBG. I don't know how much you've been following PUBG Lite, but it has been shut down. Not fully, but there's no more development in PUBG Lite. They released Vikendi on it, and that's it. PUBG Lite could get fully shut down. The servers could get shut down at any point once it stops being profitable for PUBG Corp. So thinking ahead, I guess that's gonna happen in the next few months. PUBG is gonna go free, and PUBG Lite is gonna get shut down. Oh man, those footsteps in PUBG Lite, bro. You can't play that game with those footsteps, and they never fix them. So I would recommend PUBG Lite if you have a bad PC, but man, just the sound is just absolutely dreadful. So if you're a PUBG Lite player, please, I'm curious, let us know in the comments whether you're gonna switch to PUBG if it becomes free or not, and why. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, click the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.